Welcome in, guys. Welcome to the Boneyard podcast. This week we have a few new friends, and the regular is what we chose last week to our last podcast to call him. Yeah, dude. So I'm the host, Big Bear Berg. I will let these fine gentlemen introduce themselves. Let's go ahead and start with you, Cranky, and then I will finish with you, Legendary. They know you, hopefully by now.
Um, what's up, guys? I am Cranky Con. Some of you know me as Connor. I stream, smaller streamer. Started streaming about, I would say, in the summertime, about 6 months ago or something like that. But yeah, I'm happy Berg invited me on. First podcast ever, so pretty excited to do this and do it with y'all.
Hell yeah. E.
Hello, hello. I'm E-Man the Man. I've been streaming for about 4 years now, especially with Foxhole. I do a little bit of YouTube, a little bit of streaming. Um, yeah, that's about it. I used to live in South Africa, but now I'm living back in Portugal.
Oh, right on.
So yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Actually, I should have asked this too. What regiment are you guys with too? Because that'll kind of get them a little bit going, as well. Cranky.
Well, I'm with Horde.
Yeah, big dog there. And then E-Man, I think.
I'm in my own regiment,
Yeah,
bros.
bros. Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, the old legendary. Go ahead and give him the spiel.
Howdy, howdy. I'm Legendary. I am. I have been renamed the Terror of Stemma because I was. I made Stemma a no-go zone this war for a whole bunch of watered pirates. Apparently, they ran in fear. I'm from HVL. I'm the current regiment leader. We rotate leaders. So yeah, leader of HVL. Finally, the Reddit Warriors finally won because they claimed I was like leader of WL and HVL for many months. But I'm now the head honcho, temporarily at least. So nice to see everyone. Yes, I'm the regular.
All right, cool, man. Well, yeah, dude, I called these guys in here today. We just got done with the conquest on Able 126. Pretty good war for the Colonials. Pretty short war, all things considering. It was about 2 years ago. We had a relic war, and now we had a new one, and it kind of went like that. So a little interesting. I'm curious what you guys think. Well, my first question is, how'd you guys feel about the relic war? You know, since we got to actually play the full thing out, see how everything went, and then I'll get a little bit more spicy detail questions here in a minute. So, how'd you guys feel about it?
I mean, this was my first Relic War ever. I started playing Foxhole about a year ago and kind of bursted onto the scene. I played Warden for the first little bit, but now I'm Colonial. I'm sorry.
No, it's good.
I
That's
went
good.
Blue
It's
Man.
good.
I went Blue Man for a little while,
That's good.
but no, the first Relic War was really cool. I enjoyed that we had like tanks, like kind of like right off the bat. I love tanking, love eating tanks and stuff. And we had a lot of Horde facility guys producing those things, so I got to do a lot of yeeting of tanks, which was pretty fun. But for me, it seemed like the Relic War went by pretty stinking fast. With the tanks kind of already enveloped into the war, it just seemed like we could just roll bases and stuff like that.
Okay.
I mean, for me, it's my third Relic War.
Oh.
I think it feels a bit
Oh
out of
man.
place. Like they didn't have much. They just want it was like a filler, you know. They
Yeah.
wanted to keep us busy until Airborne, so they just brought back the Relic Wars. Because with the BTS and things like that, I think I don't know if you guys know, but long ago there was like this big ass relic vehicle where it like carried infantry and it just had like dual machine guns, almost like a big IST. So I think they should have added something, to fit the late stage vehicles. But yeah, it was a bit short, so we couldn't really use everything to its max.
Yeah, didn't do much tanking, unfortunately. I was playing on Island War, supporting the big naval invasions, the naval incursions that are happening. There's you guy. I leave the tanking to the professionals. But probability side, that's sweet, sweet. Repurposed truck. Run M subs all day, baby. That's pretty much the extent. I did a little bit of tractoring. Got into the storm tank like once. We're Logi guys. We play in the fancy trucks. That's it for me. No, you muted. Oh, no.
Sorry, I hit my button. My bad. My bad. I actually really liked your take there, E-Man. And me and Legendary talked about that prior to this war. That we thought they were going to be adding relic vehicle here. We had talked about the game not adding content, which I actually learned a stat just today about the content drops from digital. But there's been a severe lack of content in new content as to like refurbished content, which is very interesting. And I agree. I really would have liked to see the tanks on the new ship that they added in Stiltkin. I would have really liked to see those been added here. I thought that was like such a no-brainer. But going into kind of the spicier point of that and kind of what I was leaning into there, and lack of content and kind of that filler. Now we all kind of understand, and if you don't, I'll kind of give some context. Airborne's coming out in January. The reveal and I assume Dev Branch will drop in January, almost immediately, and that'll probably be about a month of solid testing, if not more, depending on how things go, I assume. And the February is the planned release date. Now with that, I learned that in previous years, Siege Camp has had updates, quote unquote, for the game. They've had about on average 26 a year. 2025 we had 19 total. That does not worry me because I think the updates are getting bigger and I think more things are getting added, but I do kind of want to ask you guys, do you think it's healthy for the player base? Because it's kind of this looming thing I feel right now over the full community of, and like it shouldn't irk me, but it really irks me when I hear people just say the dreaded, I'm just waiting till Airborne. I hear that so often now. It almost concerns me that there's not enough content being released to keep it relevant until the big drop. What do you guys think about that? It doesn't have to be in line, by the way. We don't have to go like in order, you know. It's just a convo, boys. I wish I had a fucking beer or something. I'll take a shot just to kill the tensions here, boys. Like, you know, we're just shooting the shit. It's all good.
Yeah,
But
no, I agree. I think they really like messed up their timings. I think they were going good until like I don't know, August or something was their last update. And then I think they were just hoping to bring out Airborne and they just really messed up the timing and they have no content.
yeah.
Because I mean they have the roadmap which they fairly stuck to it. But yeah, I think this one they really missed the mark with the timing. Not sure why, but I guess we'll see.
What do you think, Craigie?
I think the biggest thing with these updates and them pushing back Airborne, like I've seen it in my regiment Horde. Like we can barely get probably 15 guys on now, and we don't see like it's kind of just crazy that everyone just kind of just doesn't get on anymore, and it kind of to me Berg, you probably understand that like when you want these big operations to happen, like you need like 30, 40 guys on. You need a full squad on. And with them pushing back these updates, it's just losing a lot of the main guys that you need to do these operations and stuff like that.
we made a joke about you guys, by the way, and I know Chamberlain just had a kid, but we saw Chamberlain streaming another game, and I was like, we all made a joke. We're like, if Chamberlain's streaming another game, shit's not good. And so
Oh,
that's kind of our little inside joke. We saw him playing Hoi 4 or something, and I
yep.
was like, that ain't fucking good, you know? Because that's like, in my opinion, he like streams this game pure blood. You talk to Chamberlain about this
Mhm.
game, he'll tell you it's like Rust. It's the baby. It's just gonna one day it's gonna go to fucking 30K and on up, and that's his opinion. I've talked to him a few times about it, and he thinks if these early stages, he wants to be breaking the ground as a streamer at the very beginning, and we made a joke about that actually, and we struggle to get numbers on. Like we had a few good days where we had like 20 dudes on, but I mean, it was slim pickings, dude. I mean, most of the time it was the 10. We had 10 guys day to day, and that was the crew. And I feel like a lot of regiments, not everyone. HVL has a horde of little minions, but uh, some of these smaller guys like us, I definitely feel the strain is there. Yeah, so I'm picking up what you're putting down, and I agree with that. And I have some stuff written down on my 2 cents on it. Legendary, what are you thinking, brother?
So two things. Yes, we're very much in a content drought. We did discuss this a little bit last week, but just to fill the audience in, my opinion on the matter is I think right now Foxhole is in a game state that is left open for Airborne. I think the last two major updates that I say major, but like one minor update and one major update, the devs really shook things around there's clearly a gap in the game right now. We're really struggling against tier two slop spam. It's the worst. It's
100%.
really tough to beat, and there are certain weapons that are just outperforming others. So I feel like I wouldn't say anything's overpowered. There's a couple of like infantry stuff. Who cares about infantry stuff? It's just frontline guys. We just give them 10 times the shirt. We give them 10 times the shirt, and we give them 10 times the Logi man, and they can solve it out. Anyway, but no, the point I was trying to make is like there's clearly like in terms of the game's actually finishing and pushing beyond stalemates, there's clearly a gap. Storm cannons are really hard to get through for ships. That's clearly something that the devs have intended. The next step is airborne stepping in and starting countering that sort of stuff. So I think we're right now on a content drought because I also think that the devs maybe weren't quite prepared for just the sort of level of interaction air is going to have with the standing game. And then the second point is in terms of like player involvement. I do agree that a lot of player engagement right now is very much carried by the community. Like we are the people that have to keep the game interesting. We have to do like funny wars, and I'm gonna say it. I kind of felt like that this relic war was pretty much just a crutch. It was just let's try things out. There was a lot more interaction with certain weapons. Storm tank coming out relatively early in the tech tree meant colonials had a 40 more platform, like 3 tech levels before hatchets, and the tractor made some interesting gameplay because we actually finally got to try the tractor with towing, because the last relic war was before towing was added, and this was before the deployed machine guns, not the sorry machine guns, the deployed
Stygian,
field guns. Yeah,
Stygian
like
stuff.
the Stygian and the Stockade and the Kali 120. Those were added after the last relic war. So this was the first war we really got to test that. So like was pretty much just throwing a very very small bone at where a bit of this dip. But I think the only problem that I really have right now with the state of the game is just keeping it alive. Honestly, yeah, I think everyone is struggling right now. No one wants to go in and do the same thing and over and over. And besides the joke I just made, playing on colonial side and constantly getting into late game and then fighting outlaws, bookers, and rockers is is demotivating. It's like it's really difficult to get over that. But obviously, the same side for the Wardens. Like you get to mid war and it's ISGs and Lunaires, and it's just you lose. They lose so much ground mid war, and then it basically comes down to who burns out first. And that's exactly what happened this war. Wardens burnt out really quickly. The queues completely dropped. All the content creators started seeing like massive queues. And in the previous war, same thing happened with us. We got to Fading Lights. Colleagues got to Fading Lights. We couldn't get past it. Wardens held out. Outlaws came out. Rackers came out. Bookers came out. And we just couldn't hold on. So it's just burnout. It kind of feels like the state of Foxhole right now is whoever burns out first loses. And it really is a struggle to hold on. And it's up to us playing in the regiments, keeping the vibe going, doing things interesting. And I really do feel like the Relic War was just basically just it was a crutch, just keep things going. And now next war's going in, it's not a Relic War, so now we have to do weird shit with the map. So now the map is weird. So yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I have a lot of the same opinions that you guys have all shared, and I feel like a lot of us feel all kind of the same kind of drag, just in maybe different ways, but it all boils down to the same thing. It's a lack of content, and I said this on our last podcast. I really think the devs hurt themselves by releasing Airborne a year ago in that update, or however long it goes ago, and letting it string out this long without any real tangible stuff. Like there's nothing, there's no gameplay, there's no testing. Like we've seen some pictures and we saw one teaser, and it's been dragged out, and that's all anyone talks about. And there is a lot of stop gaps right now in the game. If you don't think breaching was made for Airborne, I hate to burst your bubble, but welcome to the reality. That's what it's going to be for. I hate to tell you, the weather station and weather revamp was for Airborne. There's no use for a weather station other than if we're going to be able to fly or not. I mean, these are just things, and this is actually something I have in my notes as well. Is weather going to be changed again? Because you brought up the other day ice storms. How long has it been since you guys really saw an ice storm in a war and it actually made an impact? Last time I dealt with an ice storm and it actually did something to me and it lasted more than a couple days was 115. We were doing a destroyer. That was the last time I saw. When you said that, I forgot that was a mechanic in the game. It's so rare for the water to actually freeze over and you to be able to waddle your ass across the water or ice. You know what I mean? They added that really cool teaser, the Ares falling in the water, breaking the ice. That never happens. That mechanic's not even real. You know what I mean? And it really makes me beg the question. They said that they really enhanced the weather, and weather's going to be a big impact on the game. And to me, right now, it kind of just feels like it's raining. You're going to have slower trucks, and you can't make it up hills without buckets. Oh, it's cold. Okay, well, you're going to run 5 feet into the next trench, warm up, and then you're going to go have 5 minutes of gameplay, sit in a fucking trench, do the same thing. The hearth was added, like, it doesn't do shit. You're already warm inside. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of, be that as it may, I do like the upgraded furnace outside with the metal beams, so you can't run over the fireplaces where they need to be. That was actually pretty cool. Thumbs up, devs. Side note. But yeah, like the weather, right? That's one of the things, and I'm kind of going off a little bit from my point. There's a lack of content, and the content we've received seems kind of silly, and I agree with what you're saying because we don't have the full puzzle yet. All the pieces aren't there. But what worries me, and what I'm curious what you guys think is, do you think we're putting so much of the game's fate on this update? Like, I don't like saying this will make or break the game because I feel like that's an uneducated statement. But it feels like we are putting so much pressure on this update I don't know. I don't even know what to even ask you guys other than this feels like a make or break situation. You know what I mean? Because Robert posted a video today, the player decline and the feeling. We're all talking about how the game feels and how all this. Do you guys think that it's smart that they're putting all this pressure on this update? And I want to talk about the update after this in a second. But do you guys think it's bad, I guess, that we're putting all this pressure on there? And do you think it'll be, or do you think it'll be good? Do you think they'll do
Um,
it?
my understanding is I feel like it might be bad because a lot of people are saying these break war, like I'm gonna take a break war and wait for this for airborne and all this stuff. And I when they come back and they see that airborne, if it's bad, if it's good, or whatever they think, and the people that are taking these break wars don't see the mechanics they want to see, then I think a lot of people that are taking these break wars are having high anticipations for this update. And when their ideas aren't added in, then I think we're going to get a lot of people just slowly just exiting the game. So yeah, to answer your question, bro, I think yes. I think it is bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be bad if like if it doesn't live up to the expectations, right? Now they got like really big expectations from everyone. It's been a year now, and I mean, everyone's expecting big things from this update. And if if there's gonna be like server issues and things like that, then it's gonna be really disappointing. People are gonna be really disappointed. But I think it can only grow the game, right? I mean, people complain. A lot of people complain that they won't be back and things like that, but they always come back. We all like I don't know. We're just addicted to this game for some reason.
True
But
veteran. That's a
yeah,
true veteran. That man has seen some chat
bro,
logs
like
in his life.
like compared to how this was when it started, like it's been growing. I mean, the map increase. And yeah, no, we don't know what to expect. It's like you said, they only gave us a little trailer for a year. They haven't given us anything else, so we have no idea what they're gonna do. They're gonna change the map size, are they gonna merge the servers? How are they gonna do the flying with borders? Like, what are they gonna change? So I guess we just have to wait and see.
Uh, I think I think the content's going to be good. I think the players are going to experience weird janky stuff, and it's going to take a while to iron out. Um, this has always been the case with every major update. I played through Inferno and I played through Naval Warfare. That's kind of where I kind of like jumped in at Inferno. Airborne, let's call Foxball 3.0 because it's the third major update. So Foxball 3.0 is gonna have janky stuff. We're gonna do weird stuff like airplanes are gonna spontaneously combust. There's gonna be cases of people are gonna fly planes too close to the ground and then they're gonna stall and they're gonna crash out. People are gonna fly planes into areas that aren't scouted properly for like weather, and then a strong wind hits a plane and rips its wings off or whatever. It's gonna be crazy jankiness. And I think the initial hype for Airborne is going to be huge because fundamentally this is a brand new sort of vector that you can sort of tackle problems with. Because I think that the initial like I said, the initial mechanics is going to be really good, but the overall player experience and the overall jankiness of getting used to the fact that we can just fly around that massive concrete base now. We can now, send attacks from presumably like water hexes with those amphibious planes that we saw in the concept art. These are completely new sort of ways to play the game. And I think that there is going to be a lot of supporting content that goes around it. Now, the devs did say that they're delaying Foxhole they're delaying the airborne release because they want to make sure that both sides, for the first time in major update history, have some level of symmetry to them, in the form of both sides are going to have a classification for weapons on release. And this is the first time this has ever happened. When Inferno came out, it was completely asymmetric with how rocket artillery work, because um, collies didn't have fire rockets, and we also didn't have any way to really counter fire, and it was pain. And then naval was the reverse. Wardens got the submarine that barely did anything, and the collies got the destroyer that completely dominated coastal raids. Even battleships didn't really do much because it came so late on the tech tree. So I think that the content is, if the devs are going to deliver I guess that's the assumption I'm making here. If the devs are going to deliver the fact that both sides are going to have equal classifications of aircraft, I think the content is going to be really good. Is it a bad thing that they're hyping it up like this? Probably. I mean, that's I guess that's the obvious answer, but I'm confident in the fact that even if they don't deliver absolutely everything, if we at the very least get the things that they've sort of teased at so far, meaning we at least get scout planes, fighters, and bombers, I think that is enough to carry the hype for just the ability to like do weird attack angles using aircraft, and getting it involved with the rest of the gameplay to then carry it on to maybe another update after that. So if the devs decide, hey, they're going to cut like a lot of the stuff that they sort of intended to just like, I would say like an MVP, like a minimum viable product level, I still think that is enough for the airborne content to gel well with all the remaining sort of things that they added into the game. Um, so yeah, I think it's okay. I think it'll be okay. I'm optimistic. I'm very optimistic about Airborne's release. I will say though that the players need to temper expectations, because I do see that a lot of people are like, "Oh my god, we're going to do like insane dogfighting mid-air and stuff like that." Probably not. And the devs have already said something in the concept art where they said, "Don't expect Airborne to be like this arcadey like Warframe substitute. That's not what it's going to be. It's going to be the janky aim mechanics that we're all accustomed to." So let's expect that and not go further. But of course, that's a tough thing to say when there's such a content drought right now. When we have nothing else to do except
Yeah.
theorize what Airborne's gonna be like.
So I actually I really liked all the answers there. So the thing I've been writing down and thinking about all week is I am on the side of optimism, but I know the devs' history. I know what they're striving for is going to be great. I don't think they've delivered us a bad game. Otherwise, I don't think any of us would have the hours we do in it. So I have to chip in and say I believe in them. I'm gonna be honest. Like I already put in time off. Like I put in 2 weeks of time off of January or February to go play the war, just to make sure I have my fact down and stuff. I put that in 2 days ago. I put my time off in. I want it to be really good, and I'm really excited for it. That being said, um, I'm not sure the game is in 100% a good spot to go into Airborne as it sits at the moment. I know you kind of lean on the side of there's a lot of gaps because Airborne will fill those gaps. But a really big thing that opened my eyes, and I think not a lot of people maybe realized it. I know you guys and I kind of even hinted on it, that you think this was a crutch war. Um, I think the devs actually just did an experimental war. Um, and I don't think a lot of people even caught it. They put submarines at the very end of the tech tree. that completely changed the naval engagements. They put 40 mil early. That completely changed how the ground engagement went. They're putting they're taking our mats off the ground and putting relic mats. Now I know that's obviously relic war, but this is the first time in my collie career I haven't seen I kill one outlaw and I see 6 more come up. It was weird. Now I do understand it was break war for the wardens or burnout. I understand that, but I also do know wardens fight to the very bitter end, and they've won the 30 or the 31-30 war, or 31 out of 32 war, whatever the fuck it was. It was really interesting to see how the naval engagements went. It was really interesting to see how 120s went. I think they're still testing shit. I still think right now they're trying to dial in some weird shit, weird stuff. And that brought me up to my first idea, which you talked about the old submarine and how it kind of was dog shit. You really could only kill like iron ships and freighters with it. That was literally its only kind of thing. And if you go into like realism of World War II, like American torpedoes in the beginning of the war on submarines, like literally dudded or fucking sucked ass. Like they were really bad. And I'm curious, what you guys think of this first idea that I kind of wrote down this week. And what do you guys think about them giving the old torps and putting submarines back out early, but giving them old torps? But then you later on get better ammunition or a better torp type that is better suited to hit heavier boats. That being said, you'd still be able to do damage, but you'd be a lot less likely to go out there and try to big game hunt with a submarine unless you're being a supporting vessel with the old torpedoes, right? It would be what they historically were, U-boats. They'd be killing supply, logi, big ship like that. They'd be going after boats like that. I'm curious what you guys think of giving AP torpedoes versus HE torpedoes on submarines. Because in my opinion, like I've never seen naval go the way it did. Like whether it was HVL being fucking Chads out there, like absolutely dumpstering people, or if it was the fact that Nakis just really weren't there. I literally don't know. I wasn't out on the water. I was literally I was getting already by calf for 8.5 hours every fucking day. So I don't know what water looks like. Okay, I literally didn't see water all war.
Yeah, so just before we go into the topic, quick correction. We're Logi guys. We did Logi. all the big naval ops, that was our coalition. So most of it was like orchestrated by Seoul and the Air Regiment. So those were the big ship actors.
Okay.
But the other thing to keep in mind is Colonials are doing really well with the Hydra Initiative. So the Hydra Initiative is a collaboration of a lot of basically ship captains getting together, and when they go out in sorties, they support each other. So a lot of the big naval battles, like the ones that happened in Godscroft and the Tempest ones, those were all large-scale, large coordinated. Collies are finally deciding to get with the program and playing together. And they're U-team destroyers, which is good. But yeah, I mean, we obviously supported them mostly with small ship and making sure they had ammo. But that's basically what it is. But on the point of having torpedoes come out early, like having submarines come out earlier, but with the OG like torpedoes that are more meant for like hunting iron ships and whatnot. It's hard to say, but I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm gonna keep my stance. I think large holes, the mechanic is dog shit, and it needs to be removed from the game. It's too convenient. It's too convenient for 3 to 4 players, or not even just 3 to 4 players. Let's say like a fully maxed out submarine. Let's say 8 players, because that might be too many. But let's say 8 players being able to counter an entire naval attack of hundreds of players, dozens of players, coordinated, organized. We saw I saw the amount of organization that takes place to get these large scale naval ops working on the colonial side, and I think it's just not great for the game for 8 players to counter literally at minimum 60 to 70 players. It's not good for the game. It's the same as like the dude that throws a sticky on your tank can't completely destroy an Ares or destroy a Predator with one sticky. That's the state of torpedoes. That's why it's just bad for the game. And it has nothing. It's not realistically. It has nothing to do with the torpedoes. It's the mechanic behind it. It's the launch hole mechanic. It needs to go. So I'm all for adding in smaller torpedoes and whatnot, but the late game stuff, sorry, no. I think it's bad for the game. 8 players countering 60, 70 players, not good for the game. It should not be in it.
Caveat to that, I did right at the bottom of that. I was doing chicken scratch. When those torpedoes come out, we should get specialized metal beams that actually fully do the hole as well.
Nah, still dog shit. That's just me though. I think large holes ruins the naval part of naval warfare.
Do you think the same thing of storm cannons then?
No, because it got nerfed.
And it's equal playing field. So okay. I'm eager to hear your guys' takes.
Yeah, my take on it, Bird, is well, first, I think that the college should get a smaller sub, in which we have to have what, like 8 to 10 people man a sub, and then the Naki gets you can basically wardens can have like 4 people on their sub and be able to go around and do this. So if subs were released earlier, then all the wardens have to do is just have 4 people on a sub, and then our water lodge would just be disrupted. We wouldn't have anything out there. And if we wanted to do the same thing, we need at least 8 people on a sub to go out there and actually do that. And notoriously, what I've heard from Chamberlain and all he really doesn't get on a sub as much unless he's not streaming. So when we're on a sub, it's we're out there and we're hunting and whatnot. But again, for airborne, they need to open up the sides of the map where there's a lot of water, so the subs can go out there and actually hunt down ships. These little just waiting for 5 hours. So I've been on a sub for 5 hours and just sitting there, and we're playing poker or whatever on Discord and stupid shit like that. But
I've done that too. That's so
but,
sad.
like,
I know what you're talking about.
I know, but like, so if, but again, to answer your question, I don't, I don't think subs. I think subs should be released like they were, because I don't think the devs need to do something with subs. Either give us a smaller sub in which we can man it with 4 and give the wardens a bigger sub, or just keep the subs at a later tech, because we seen this war and it seemed like the naval battle. You said legendary, wasn't it Godcroft, where it was
Yep.
like we took out like there was like 30 gunboats or something like that. Like those are the naval battles like I would love to see. Like that's like D-Day, honestly. Like that's cool shit. And
Yeah.
we don't never see that because the wardens just get these Nakis that 4 of them get to go on, and they just patrol the waters. And then our DDs just we get out there and we get sunk right away. Like and again with naval landings and stuff like that, the return home button needs to get knocked out. I'm tired of this the queues, all that shit, that irritates the shit out of me. When I'm trying to go in and all that stuff, like if there's a naval landing, you need to be able to get into that hex. I'm done with queues. Queues are done, and all that shit. So sorry I went on that little tangent about queues, but I
It does hurt
hate
naval.
queues. I think that the return home button. If we're doing a naval landing on an island, I don't think people all the way in Morgan's County needs the QRF and Godscroft. I think you need people to be on Godscroft to defend the naval landing. So I think something at airborne, like the scout planes and stuff, will be a big necessary for naval, because you can kind of scout out where the naval landings are coming, and then people can get their butts to Godscroft to defend it. But if we have these queues and this return home button, then naval landings won't be a thing anymore, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So, Cranky, you mean like people can't just spawn in? They have to like travel
Yeah.
there somehow.
Yeah, so like HVL, basically they're they Logi, right? They're there. So in what Logi people, what to my understanding, they're in the back line making stuff. But for them to have like a defense crew, I would say, and if they don't have a defense crew, like what the Germans did in World War II, they blitzkrieged everything and all this stuff. Like the collies and the wardens should be able to blitzkrieg different areas, because if the queue is what stops everything in the game. Like for Horde, that's why a lot of guys, like when Chamberlain gets on Foxhole, like you'll see like probably 20 to 30 dudes try to get into that hex. And with the queue, we stop it, and we can't blitzkrieg a lot of these places. Like for the beginning of the war, when we were trying to fight for Fading Lights and Stone Cradle, we couldn't get all the guys we wanted into the hex, and then it just stops the push. So that's kind of what I'm trying to say is, if they don't have enough people on Godscroft, and we have, say, 3 DDs going in there, like, so bad, so sad. Like, sorry, you lost Godscroft.
So what you're talking about, that you're kind of going off on a
Yep.
different argument. That's fine. That's fine.
My bad.
This isn't like where this isn't structured, dude. We're just shooting this shit. I just had some ideas
Yep,
to
of
talk
course,
to you guys.
of course. Yeah.
But so what you're talking about, that's what we call the fun limiter, but there's a population. So there's a global population and a hex population. So if the wardens are getting out popped by collies like 10 to 1, there's an automatic, like, I think 10-second, I don't even know, but like there's an automatic time limiter for spawns. So like if we're out popping them 10 to 1, that's why you see 45-second timers. Even though they might out pop you in the hex, globally you're out popping them, you're going to get a heavier spawn timer. Now when you're also dealing with hex timers, it fluctuates and fucks up a little bit more, because like I just said, and Legendary was kind of his face kind of growled at me because I'm going to fix what I'm saying. So when you're in a hex and it's 100 v 100, spawn timers are even. Globally, you get put up here. When they have more people in hex, it balances out a little bit more, or they get dropped down a little bit more even. But you still globally have more. You get set on a higher spawn timer. So you go in, die, 30-second, immediately run out and get killed to an arty shell. You might have a 55-second spawn timer. Versus when it's even, you go out, die, you have a 5-second spawn timer, go out again and die, you have a 10-second. What your kind of tangent is on is not tangible within the server base right now, and I totally get what you're saying, because the fun limiter is abused by both sides dramatically. In Origin or in Morgan's Crossing, there's your little fucking island that you can only cross via bridge or landings. What really smart players do in late game in those areas is they'll get defenses up there best they can, and they'll put like 5 to 10 dudes in there, and if there's fucking factories and a refinery there, you'll limit that actual Logi hub, that hex, to get queued because they only have 10 people. They only need 10 people to defend the bridge. And when a big fucking attack happens, they call a QRF. And since you're so out popped, they just fucking swarm that area. Happens all the time. It happens so many places, and all the vets know the hot spots. Mercy's Whale, Lockheed, Origin. Like, there's just so many different places this happens. That's not really fixable with how the game and server to server hexes work right now. We all want a free float game with no hexes, but we have to, like, the game's built around hexes in mind right now. If there was no hexes, I mean, it would be disastrous, dude. To be honest, right off the rip, it would be horrible. And 24-hour wars, it would be really fucking hard because you're talking about a defense force always being online 24/7. I don't live in my concrete bunker. I'm gonna go live in there 8 hours a fucking day, bro. I'm not fucking. I go to work, dude. I'm not living in fucking Stone Cradle, huddled in my fucking cot, bro. I live a life. So ideally, I hear what you're saying, but factually, I don't even know if it's possible, realistically, in the moment. But I do know what you mean, and I think Naval and Pop and E-Man already brought it up. What the fuck is Airplanes gonna do at a border? There's so many things that are coming up that are gonna be problems that man, I don't know. So I hear what you're saying, but and maybe a bigger, smarter brain than me can tell you like how that can be fixed. But I don't think, I don't even think it's servers. I don't think the engine can take it the way it's set right now. And so I think Naval suffers from queues. Yeah, and again, I agree with the large hole argument that you made. And E, don't forget your answer. I just kind of reviewing. I agree, large holes suck ass either which way. I don't think it's right that large holes can't be fixed. You can stop a whole operation. It blows. Um, People can argue which sub is better. I That's potato. People are just gonna yell skillish you in your face. I mean, I don't know. It's what we're talking about is very hard and a dev's decision, but I almost think that, and a lot of people won't like me saying it, I think subs should almost be removed if they can't balance the torpedo mechanic. It's such a small niche portion of the player base that does subs only, but it can ruin like literal fucking coalitions I've seen made on the collies get diminished because they just can't go sail. I don't know, dude. All right, try to follow that up, E. There you go. Try to lock
No,
that
yeah,
shit up, baby.
I'll agree with what you guys are saying with the large holes. I think they're very anti-fun. They're like, I remember one of my regiments, one of the guys from my regiment, he joined a destroyer. They had to wait for half an hour to get in the region in queue. Firstly, they traveled for half an hour. Then they waited for half an hour in the queue. And then as soon as they crossed over in the queue, they got hit by two torpedoes by a sub that knew that they were coming. And then he spent another hour repairing the boat all the way back to the shipyard. So it's very, very anti-fun. It's like, is that the mechanic that they want us to do? We get hit by a large hole, then we sail back as soon as we get hit by it. Very anti-fun. They need to change that. Like at least make it a fight. Like you get hit by a large hole, you can still fight back. So I don't know. I haven't done enough naval. I'm not an expert on this. I've only dipped my toes like 2 wars
Nice
ago.
pun. Nice pun.
Only a little bit. We built a sub because like it was end of the war, lots of rares were dropping. I tried out the sub. it's shit. It's very hard to navigate the colonial sub in the rivers. Like it was so hard, back and forward, back and forward, back and forward. Reverse forward, getting out of the rivers. I think the warden one is a little bit easier to maneuver. I'm not 100% sure. I've never used it, so I don't know. But yeah, it's very tough to maneuver. Maybe if they expand like in open waters, maybe in the future if they do like big open water maps, then yes, maybe our sub's better or something. But yeah, large holes, big anti-fun. And with the queues that Cranky was saying, actually that's interesting, right? Because I remember a few wars back we tried to do like a tap op and we were QRF'd instantly. Like as soon as we got spotted, boom, they all spawned in this one little area that like had zero defenses. But because there was a relic there, they all spawned in. Like 20 guys spawned in out of nowhere. Boom, QRF'd us, destroyed our little push. And if you think about it, back in the day, if you took out a bridge, then it stopped the reinforcements from coming in, right? Like in the war, you took out a bridge, the reinforcements couldn't come in, they had to rebuild the bridge, and that would give you time to advance. So that's actually pretty interesting. The no spawn. Maybe you can have like fewer spawns that you can spawn in. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to do that. But talking about those hexes, have you guys played Anvil? They don't have hexes. Have you guys seen
Mhm.
how they do
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Maybe
Don't do.
maybe they
God damn it!
maybe
Get me
they're
my
cooking
fucking
something up.
hat.
Oh, yeah, upgrade
Oh,
those.
what is he bringing? Is
He's
that
got a tier.
I
He's
don't
got a
know.
tier 2 tinfoil hat now. Holy cow! Look at that.
Oh
He's
shit!
got a new one every fucking
tinfoil
week.
hat? Nice,
All right,
nice,
bro.
nice.
Hold on, it kind of
But they
broke.
they've kind of not sort of, but they have a solution to overpopulation, which is the tents. You have to
Mm-hmm.
like have tents to spawn in, and if all the tents are occupied, you can't spawn in, or you can't respawn at your tent, something like that. I guess like relics could have a limit of spawns, like 50 players can spawn at a relic, maybe. You can't set your spawn more than 50. Maybe that will fix like this is theorizing that there's no hexes. How would you stop people from overpopulating an area? You just like put a cap. I don't know. I don't know. That just I
That's
think
actually
removing the queue would solve a few issues. Because another thing, last 2 wars ago we were in a destroyer and we were by the border, and because there was so little space, like half of the water space was by the border, and people couldn't spawn on our destroyer, and it sunk because we didn't have enough people. Because like it was kind of like bad prepping, but we were by the border and people couldn't spawn, and like I was like, what the hell, man? This border is so annoying, man. Yeah, that's
so
my 2 cents on it.
you fucked me up. Made me bring my hat out. All right, you
Yeah.
talked about Anvil. Okay, this is if you don't understand the reference. This is deep dive tinfoil hat, gentlemen. All right. Don't make me get the Jack Daniels out. We'll start getting deep into foxhole lore, baby. Hey, so here's some real shit that I actually do think is a possibility. Everyone thinks I'm fucking crazy. They said they've been working on this shit before Naval. They've also been doing this shit with Anvil behind the scenes with other developers for a long fucking time. People are saying they would have to start from scratch. Naval came out a long fucking time ago, gentlemen. It is a possibility. It's not out of the fucking question. We could get an engine upgrade. It's not a never. It's not a possibility of zero, okay? This is my tinfoil hat point. What if they are moving to a upgraded physics and better engine for the game, aka Foxhole 2.0? Because here's my other thing with Airborne. What's going to happen when I fucking crash my plane into the ground? Any vehicle right now, nothing happens. There's no physics in the game. If I crash my plane into the ground, am I going to get damage? Because if I don't, I can just emergency land wherever the fuck I want, pack it up, and dip out with a truck. I really do think it is a possibility we are getting an engine upgrade, and that would be a very cool thing because with a different engine and a different back service, they can implement more players, and they could also, with a upgraded engine, they can also have what is it where like in Streets of Tarkov, every time they keep making it more and more refined on all the little bullshit that loads in, and it gets easier for more and more players to get into that map. Tarkov's really bad. There's a word I'm trying to look for, but essentially, they could make it easier for more computers, and they could get a way better player base. Like EVE Online has a really good server. They can do like 1,000 fucking people or like 10,000 people in their game or whatever the hell it is. It's something crazy like that. They built their own engine from scratch, and now they can do their really big online battles. If Siege can't, which again, I'm a fucking toddler when it comes to like programming and stuff, so please don't take my words for exact. I'm speaking in very basic, like dumbass terms. But my point is, I do think it's a possibility. I think you guys are I don't want to beat a dead horse. I've said that 3 times. What do you like? Do you guys think that's a viable possibility that we're getting an engine where we could possibly get borderless stuff? Do you think we can maybe even if it's not borderless, maybe we can make it instead of one hex being heartlands, we could have heartlands and deadlands, or that's not together. Heartlands and Great March together, and that's one hex. Maybe they expand the map in 3 hexes, become one hex. You know what I mean? What do you guys? Do you guys think that's even plausible?
Yeah,
So
I think it's possible.
they've reshaped the map before. Map used to be squares. Now they're hexes.
I didn't
Like
know
the
that.
original maps were squares, right? And they've also released maps where the maps were intentionally designed in such a way that it encouraged rapid gameplay. That's why we had like the official like Foxhole League or something like that. It was unfortunately before I started playing, but they used to run events like this where they had maps that are specifically designed to facilitate a certain number of players, and that's it. The I will say on one thing that to keep in mind. I know you guys seemed like you kind of want to push back on this ability to QRF. Um, I will say that on certain in certain hexes, I don't know if you guys have ever tried to QRF like a tap up, and then you try and go into it, and the spawn diamonds aren't there, or you
I was gonna bring that
basically
up.
just you basically just can't load in. I think that is a way that the devs are experimenting with um, balancing out the fact that the opposition has a chance, or let's say the attackers have a chance to make a important and impactful alpha strike on a target, and then as population starts to roll in, more spawns become available and basically get enabled. This is actually something that I saw this war because I was mostly in Stemma. Um, because our regiment was basically scooping every single resource field the moment it spawned in Stemma, we had a constant rotation of players that were hopping between all the different relic bases and all the bunker bases that had deployment zones tagged. Because that's like standard operating procedure for HVL. You don't dig a bunker base unless you go for deployment point so that we can QRF. However, in Fisherman's, which is the hex just north of Stemma, we really struggled to get QRF to stop tap ops on all the different relic bases and all the different um, outlier spawn points from the main town hall in Idlo. And the reason why is because there was no interest in playing in Fisherman's because it didn't have a refinery, wasn't a victory point, didn't have anything that we really wanted out of the hex. So I think that on top of maybe making like a global stitched map together or expanding the map to have multiple hexes to instead of it just being one. One thing I think that the devs are probably looking into, and I have some data to back this up with, is I think they're looking at making players care about the regions that are already in the game more than they are right now. And I think that Airborne probably won't have seamless borders like it does with Anvil because that's a massive. Besides the game balance, which is also very impactful. Because remember things like storm cannons, tempest cannons, 150s, and partisan gear, intel sweeping, weather. All of these things are balanced in the fact that there's a border separating it from doing something in one region versus the other. But what I do think that we're going to probably see is I think we're going to see a lot of resource shifting from certain regions that we might be used to right now to things like more things spawning on frontline hexes, more things spawning on islands. I think the devs are going to make players care for those hexes more, and because of this, one thing to keep in mind when you're attacking something is remember there might be a population that's already in the hex that might not want to participate in a battle. So you might think like, okay, our E-Man wants to do a tap up on a particular island. He can go into that region and do his tap up because he'll know that at least 30 players are busy facility LARPing on the other side of the hex. That means that there are less people that can load in because the server queue will pop and hold. So I think that's how things are going to play out. I think there's going to probably be more facility building and more bunker-based building in Airborne, and the very nature of getting players to care about those regions will be a way for it to balance out. But this again stems the problem that we have is we don't know, the devs aren't communicating anything, but
You know
I've
that
been noticing. I've been noticing what's happening in Able. I've been noticing what's happening on Charlie specifically. I actually care what happens on Charlie. I've been following the Charlie Wars, even though I don't participate, I don't play, but I've been following what's going on. Like the maps are crazy, and the devs are experimenting, and they are dealing with these things where they disable certain regions, and they make Logi towns really big, and they make Logi towns have huge resource fields as opposed to smaller ones. And I think that they're busy tinkering and tweaking things. And I definitely think that Charlie is basically a hidden, like, sort of dev branch that the devs are using to gauge how they can make players interested and interact with the game. And I think this all ties back to how can players QRF? Should players be able to QRF? I think that all is all going to tie together. And unfortunately, we're going to have to wait for Airborne, but I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to have resource fields that spawn on like island hexes in Airborne, where it's all rares, like all rare metal, like all the rare metals. If you want rare metals, cool. You have to fight for islands. Figure out to defend them. Figure out how to QRF them, and also this will open opportunities for people who want to build storm cannons or people who want to build like underground bunkers, which costs rares. Guess what? You're also going to have to just build a destroyer. You're also going to have to build some bowheads. You're going to have to go to these islands and fight for it. I think that's what DevMan is cooking, and I've seen proof of this war. Resource fields are getting smaller on the mainland. People haven't been noticing. I've been noticing.
Do you guys know how to open the chat for this channel?
On Discord.
Yeah. So in the top right, you'll see like enabled and then requests, and then you'll see the little show chat button.
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead and click that for me. That's legendary right now.
All day. All day, baby. All day.
This right here, we're gonna have. I'm doing the same thing. We're having open fucking maps. We're getting bigger. You know, like we're all out here just fucking. We're all pissing in the wind because we know nothing. We know nothing, and all we can do is guess, and it sucks. It sucks so bad. But here's the fun part. It's fun to speculate, right? Talking about speculation. Do you guys think we'll be able to chop down trees to make airfields?
You already chopped down trees.
Are we getting an axe, gentlemen? Because
You can already chop down trees.
don't fucking give me that 120 shit. I want a piece of metal
One
on the
part of
end of my
120.
stick. Whether I have to chop it down with a bayonet, I don't care. I want to chop down a tree. This is bullshit, and I guarantee you the number one killer for planes will not be any one fucking player. It will be trees. It will be trees every time. War Thunder has proven this. It is fucking 1,000,000. It is. They don't die. This is bullshit. Give me sharp piece of metal on end of heavy stick to chop down tree. Please. Also, let me put sledgehammers on another side tangent for being an engineer on the front line all the time. Please let sledgehammers break husked or broken conch. Let me dig out concrete with my sledgehammer, because fuck having to bring up 30 crates of hydras to Demo's calf base. Hashtag love you calf. Bullshit. Please let me demo concrete husks and stuff with a sledgehammer. That'd be cool.
Change of what a change of heart, Captain. Oh, I don't want my concrete base to constantly die to HE
Listen,
water.
I'm talking about once it's taken over.
I want to dehusk concrete easier.
This is bullshit.
Well,
No.
Berg, I know you have your tinfoil hat on and stuff like that, but looking at the trailer of Airborne and the movements and stuff like that, and going back to Anvil, it looks to me, I don't know about you, E-Man, but to me, it looks like the movement from Anvil that they used in the trailer for Airborne, if I'm not mistaken.
If you guys haven't looked in the chat, in my Twitch chat, they've actually been having an argument about that in my Twitch chat, about that exact thing, same thing you're talking about. They have said that was all clipped in or made in. It says 100% not film footage, or not film, like not gameplay. None of that was gameplay in the trailer. So they could be talking about, or they could be showing, they could have been clipping it in the Anvil, universe. They could have been doing that, or that could just be 100% their filmmaking studio and how they do it. Now, I'm not a guy that knows a bunch about technology. I mean, I had to literally ask like 6 people to get me a list on how to fix my foxhole. That kind of worked, so I would take that video with a very heavy grain of salt.
Of course, yeah.
But I again, it's going on to my tinfoil hat spiel. Do I think it's possible that they've been doing this Anvil and testing all this shit on the game that's not successful and putting it on their successful game? I said it from when Anvil first came out. That's a test bed for Foxhole Universe, or their universe that they're trying to create. I definitely could see that being their test bed, since it's not live yet. Foxhole is a live service game. They can't really be doing a lot of testing on their live service game, while also in chat, I also saw you. They're never going to get rid of Charlie. Legendary explained this the other day. When you have a live service game that on Steam, you can't have a game go down for 2 days, because then it's not a live service 24-hour game. Charlie will never leave. So accept it. Charlie is a part. It's a little brother. It's not the big war, but it is a war. It's not taken lightly. Um, my hair's super fucked. I'll wear my old I'll switch to the hillbilly hat. Carhartt. My hair's fucked up, boys. There we go. So yeah, I mean, what do you think? I mean, a lot of us have been kind of spieling, bro. Like, I'm genuinely curious what you think. Do you think we're full of shit, or do you kind of believe in it? Do you
No, with
accept
the
the?
engine,
Yeah.
I agree. Sorry, I'm just having a war here with my cat. No,
Are
I
you
think it's
winning?
possible.
All
Not even.
right.
He's
What's his
biting the
name?
cord.
What's his name?
Cat's name? Tigre.
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 Nice. Nice.
Osborne, I need 15 crates of catnip to eat in the man's house. Stat. My main load, you guys in your chat. I've been seeing me up.
Yes.
So
I'm trying not to
distracting
ignore
him with
them,
the
but
treats.
no,
No, I
yes.
think yeah, no. Actually, I saw. I heard it from Chamberlain. He was saying that the trailer looked like the engine for Anvil, and I don't know. Maybe it was just a filming thing, but how do you record it? Like, surely maybe they already have it. I don't have no idea, man. I have like just these are all theories because like you guys said, they've only given us one trailer last year, and that's all we've had to work with. So it's very tough. It's very tough to say anything. It's a pity that they haven't really made any more trailers after that. So kind of sucks, but yeah. Um, I think it's possible to change the engine. I mean, I know Rust did it. They changed their engine, and then they started putting in like their own models, which improved server performances. Because that's actually
Optimized.
scares me.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank
that
God.
scares me a
Optimize.
lot. They have to
Yes.
optimize a lot of the stuff. Like we're playing. It's not a graphic intensive game, but when you go into a hex that's fully built up, and then just starts lagging, and yeah, it's crazy.
Can I play devil's advocate here?
No.
Um, I know we love to complain about the server performance, and the server does die a lot, and lots of DCs and recovery mode. But I actually had a chat with some of the older old WL guys that are not HVL, and back in the day when we used to play together, there used to be like really weird, janky glitches that happened that aren't prevalent anymore. Do you guys remember the floating push gun operators? Do you
Yes.
remember sometimes the ghosts that would just fly like two dudes on a push gun, and they would just
Yes.
fly towards you, like all the tanks would panic and they would like point and shoot at the dudes that are like floating towards you? I haven't seen that in like over a year now. But again, this is like one of those things that where they're probably improving things. They're just not very like upfront about it, because more often than not, that's not something that that's not something that people really brag about when it comes to like enhancing or improving their game. A lot of the devs probably think that it's like kind of embarrassing that they have this thing where pushgun operators would magically float towards you, and then people would panic and shoot it, and there'd be clips of it, and weird stuff like that. But I don't think the devs are very vocal about fixing those things, and I'm of the opinion they should be. I think every single time they fix a bug like that, or they improve the game, they just outright say it. They say, we have improved a performance issue where people that drive a tank with 90-degree turn, if they hit an invisible rock or something like that, that no longer happens. And I think we need more of that. And there's definitely been things that have been fixed. Like the sinkhole thing was also like earlier this year, where we had like random sinkholes happening.
It's kind of still
The
there,
devs
to
kind
be
of,
honest.
yeah,
I
it
hit a
still happens.
few. It with bunker meshing, because like I'm an engineer, I deal with that a lot. But I will say, yeah, they from what it was, where literal full push guns would fall through. I saw a falchion fall through one. Versus now, it's one man, and 90% of the time, it's a really easy vault out. Yeah, 100%. I think what you're saying is we take them for granted for how much they do fix. Like,
they just I don't think they're just not vocal about it. I guess the other major thing is like three frontline guys here is you guys now all have fun fighting bookers, right? But the booker never got buffed in like the last like 3 or 4 patches. The only thing that changed is they got a guy in to do all the hit registration to like fix it. I don't know if you guys know this, but in the last actual dev branch, Siege Camp brought in a person from other games. Like I don't know what games he did, but they said they had like a lead, like technical guy from a different game come in and redo and upgrade the hit registration. And now hit registration works really well. And I was there during the like
yeah, I fought you,
dev branch
motherfucker.
announcement. They did like the dev branch announcement thing where they're like, hey, we want like a whole bunch of people to come try out shooting guns against each other. And it was absolute chaos. It was the test was terrible. like people
So
like spawn
unfair,
camped and through.
dude. They brought in
People
a
brought
fucking. They brought in an
APCs and shit.
APC, bro, and we had no AT, and they sat outside our bunker. Man, it was bullshit. Still mad about that.
But here's the thing, though, right? Is it was basically a really small footnote in the massive update that was the builder update.
It was huge.
But that has dramatically changed a lot of weapon performances. Like we see stuff like Fashinas on the front line now. We see
gun.
The Booker pitch gun. And I feel like, again, this is just one of those things where the devs are actually slowly working on server performances, and we as the players keep jumping from one bad thing to another. And sometimes we just need to take a step back and appreciate the fact that things are not as bad as it seems. Now, this is me not like bootlicking for Siege Camp. There's a lot of shit I can complain about the game. It's still fucked up and it needs to be resolved. But credit where credit's due. I don't see floating push gun operators anymore. I don't get the random thing where my tank is going down a road and then all of a sudden it's 90 degrees and into a minefield. I don't randomly bump 2 trucks in on a bridge and then both trucks do this and then they jump off the side of the bridge. Although we still have like weird shit like large ships being trapped underneath iron ships and stuff like that. But, you know, again, I think it does get better. Oh, also massive concrete bases. Used like back in the day, if someone built like 6-7 storm cannons in one small spot and there were engine rooms running, the game would render everything even though you couldn't see it. And you drive a truck through it and your frame rate just goes to 2, and then the next moment your truck is off a bridge or in a minefield and it's just dead. So it's slowly getting better. It's just playing devil's advocate here. I think Airborne, there will probably be a lot of optimizations that we won't see, and the devs won't communicate ever, and it'll just be in, at least hopefully.
So, holy shit, dude! You've talked about so much good stuff. I feel bad trying to cut in new stuff, but like I can keep talking about what you just talked about. Like, fuck.
New stuff in it. Go through your notes. Don't listen to me. You're the host.
No, I'm saying like this is good shit.
Go through.
This is good.
Pull out the notepad. Let's go through your bullet points.
So, hold on. Okay, that was another thing. Kind of talking about like you were talking about bunkers and stuff, and that brought to my mind something that I really wish that would get added. And we've talked about this prior to the builder update. This is a long conversation ago. But how many of you guys love getting like 20 or not 20, like 10 30 mil and fat walking up like 100 meters to a fucking 30 mil gun? How do you guys love that shit? Do you guys like it as much as me? I mean, I'm not asking you, Logi Man, because you just bring him in crates in a truck and you never actually carry the heavy weight. Unless you're loading it into a gunboat. I mean,
I have 20 people who love to walk shells around, so
it must be nice to have minions. I fucking wish. All jokes aside, you know, E-Man, I don't know what you do on the front lines a lot, but like my guys love doing 30 mil like Dawkins. They literally don't care if they even shoot a dude with a pistol. They like watching people pop. Like I don't know what's wrong with my Reggie. slightly on that spectrum. I feel like they do dumb shit and they like it. I like it too. I'm on that spectrum. I'm fine with it. That being said, one thing that I really wish they would add and or is already kind of in the game, but I wish would get added on to, and talking about possibly AA being added and shit like this. And I imagine you're going to have vehicles, but I also imagine you're going to have AA guns. And I imagine Rapturas are going to be some of these AA guns. I imagine Starbreakers will be these AA guns as well. I personally would like to see what they did with the fuel truck. I would like to see what they did with the Fashura, the grenade launcher, collie grenade launcher. I really would like to see a weapon or a crate and or a bunker base type deal called an ammo storage room. So a lot of people don't really think about real life because it's a fucking video game, and who would think about video games in real life? Haha. Get me my gold COD fucking guns. Like, I understand, but at the other half of it, it's a military game, and I really get irritated running back so fucking far away to a bunker base just to run back with so little. I would really like a little bunker, almost as an ammo storage for like 30 mil, 20 mil, even fucking 12-7, things that go in these frontline octagon and or tripod weapons. I would really like to see, because they already have the large shell storage room for 120 ammo, 150 ammo, shit like that. And you can even put Havocs on pallets now. I would really enjoy to see a little ammo room for like 30 mil that I can direct deposit crates of 30 mil into filling those up. And have that like one at maybe the back of your builds. I mean, I'm not famous for it, but I did do a really cool build called the Bear Trap, and I envisioned having tripods and or an ammo room in there to feed the guns inside. I would really like them to implement something like that, and I'm going to keep hammering this every fucking podcast I can and I remember it. Let me put a fucking mortar on a tripod and get rapid fire with that bitch. Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. I would really just like some cooler LARP shit for infantry. Because as much as I bitch at the beginning about this of not getting more stuff and a lot of it's being refurbished stuff, I would really like to see more stuff get refurbished to be better. I think the box, the thing that costs like what 50 25 BMATs or whatever, you can put like 16 items in it total. Those die in one arty shell and they're horribly hidden, and they're still a fucking nuisance to feed ammo into. It's just a stopgap. I really want to see something we can put like actual ammo stored. Like, I don't know. Would you guys like something like that in the game, or do you have any ideas spawned off that, or do you think it's dumb? Legendary,
I
don't
mean,
you
now that
fucking
you're saying it, it's sparked some ideas. You know, like a bunker base that you could interact with and put some. You know, like that. You know how you like the tank shells in the tank. It's got a number on it, like out of 40,
yep.
or half track. It's also got a certain number. I guess you could do like a modification for a bunker where you could put extra in. Yeah, I guess be good. And talking about the mortar, I actually thought about this last war. You said put on a tripod. I was thinking they should make a new. They could add a new structure where it's like a mortar emplacement, and you put it in an octagon, but like it shoots very slowly or something
You're
instead of
spitting
mortar houses,
exactly what I
bro.
want.
Because mortar
Yes.
houses, bro, I hate mortar houses. They're too
Yes.
accurate. At least make it
Yes.
like, because the whole thing about Foxhole is like, you need s- you need to cooperate to do things. You need someone on binos. You need someone on mortar. You need someone on binos. You need a gunner. You need a driver. You know, you always need like a pair of people to do things. So yeah, mortar house. Like I hate the mortar houses. Like you could just click and kill. It's too easy. A mortar house.
By the way, the Peltas used to be like the Waterhouse before they nerfed it.
Wait, the Peltis used to be like the Mortar House?
Bro, at the Peltas.
Why did I miss this? No!
No.
Damn it!
No.
That would have been
It's
so
even.
cool.
Do you want to know what's even worse? Waters used to do the same amount of damage as 150s.
Why did I miss cool shit like this? I got in the game too late. Oh, God, dude, that would have been so gold. Enough
Frankie, what do you
crying. What do you think,
No,
Crank?
no, wait.
No.
Let Greg have a go, man. Jeez.
No, I was just crying a little bit. It's good. He was laughing at me. He's having a good time.
I mean, I echo what E-Man said about mortar replacements. I think that would be really cool to have in the game. And then it would bring just an extra layer of lark for a lot of people. And, Horde is supposed to be heavy ordnance. So, it would give us another thing to build on our bunker bases. But Berg, I think, being able to have, being able to put those boxes, those storage boxes, inside trenches or inside, different emplacements would be really cool to have. I mean, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But I mean, like you said, the boxes just get destroyed no matter what. But if you're able to put them inside something, then there's a big use for them where you can just start stacking up things. So that's my thoughts on it.
Make the storage box a large item. Deployable like a tripod. Preload it with 15 of whatever you have, and then you could put it on the back, and then you could put it on pallets. Bring a pallet of like 60 storage box, preloaded with mortars, 30 mil, whatever. That's my
Dude.
suggestion.
That'd be badass.
Oh my God, that is such a good idea. Holy shit. Dude, you could even go deeper. You could fill those boxes, a large item like that, the boxes you're just talking, if it's like you're on a front line and people are holding a trench, dude, bring up 15 APRPGs, 15 fucking Danes. Here you go, boys. Open up the box. Boom, Oh, and you know what? They could nerf it to where those boxes could have certain items or not if shit's too OP. But also, as much as I hate to say this would also be a massive buff to partisans. Massive buff to partisans. If they could carry 15 Havocs, or at least 5 and 5 in one of those crates and strut that shit.
Yeah, you're right. A couple wars ago in Dev Branch, they actually made it able to put Havocs and Hydras on pallets.
Mm-hmm.
That shit got nerfed
Immediately.
I think that was on Dev Branch for like 3 days, and then it got nerfed because people discovered that you could put 120 Hydras on a pallet, and then you just drive a flatbed into a front line. People shot the flatbed out; it would drop the pallet. Wardens don't like Havoc like Hydra rushes. Try Hydra rushes where people can grab a Hydra on a pallet as they're running towards the front. That shit was bonkers. You could also do it with Havoc. So you have to be very. I do agree that it can be overpowered, but
They'd have to limit it. They'd have to limit what can go in it.
But here's the best part. They've added in a mechanic like that.
Yep.
With the Fashura rework, because the Fashura rework, they changed how the Fashura worked.
That's what
because
E-Man was
the
saying.
Yeah, the Fashura you could preload it with 3 types of ammo. You can't do that anymore. But they put in a generic item slot that they can specify in code. This can hold tremolas, or it can hold smoke grenades, or it could hold gas. So they could do the same with the boxes. So they'll just say, okay, here's a box, but you can only put in, hoppers or Boma stones or 30 mil or 20 mil or whatever. So that's something that they can implement. So just make sure that the box can't hold goofy shit like demolish damage. I think demolish damage should not be anywhere near boxes, for
Or
example.
just engineering items. They shouldn't be able to add engineering items in there. Any engineering item.
Yeah, fair.
I mean, that would take out a majority, because I mean, even if they did tremolas or even cutlers, that's not I mean, yes, that's a lot of ordnance in there, but that's not. I wouldn't call it game breaking. You know what I mean? I could see a point where it could get bad. Actually, the more I think about this, no, you'd probably have to limit the explosives tab too. But no, yeah, it'd have to be exactly what you said. It'd have to be the generic 30, 20 mortars and maybe
Yep.
even 120, because if they didn't do it that way, I mean, imagine you get a partisan truck full of tremolas, full of 15 crates of 15. I mean, one dude could just sit back there, and if he's not getting QRF, piss missile, yeah, I mean, that'd be fucking ridiculous. I can't even do the math. I'm trying to think of how much actually that would be. It'd be 15. Fuck's sakes.
He has to do math. It's Jover.
I have a calculator for this.
But here's, I guess, here's the,
233. You could carry 233 tremolas in a truck, in a Lanier with a Grenadier kit on you. With that, it'd be 15 by 15, and then you'd have 8 on yourself. You could carry 233 with a truck.
there would have to be some balancing mechanics to this. I think if that's the case, storage boxes will probably have to be countered by RE. Like, make it really, really vulnerable to, like, if an RE shell lands on your box, it explodes and takes out everything around it.
Bro, make a
could be
miniature
kind of
bomb. Just plant one of those tremola boxes in their base. Poverty, havoc. Boom! That'd be awesome. I mean, improvised explosives have been talked about for a long time in Foxhole. Like a truck full of hydras, if it drove in and dove on a building, people think that you should have 15 hydras explode right there. That'd be busted, but I don't know. That'd be rough. But as I keep going on, another thing Medine talked about with me this week, going on, there's not a really big difference between the engineer uniform and the tanker's uniform. And one really cool idea Medine had was the engineer uniform. What I think would be really cool about it is if you could slap a tripod, like, it takes away the ability for you to have a bayonet, but you could slap a tripod like across your back, and you could carry a large gun, or if they added a mortar, you could go, instead of 2-man operation, you could go place down, like, drop the gun, place down the tripod, pick up the gun, put the gun down, and you could set up your own momentum. I mean, it's small stuff like that. Now that's just an idea, or you could take away the bayonet slot and give like a shovel there, and it costs less encumbrance. But in my opinion, it's really weird how there's two uniforms that condone the same identity. They do the exact same job.
it's I think it's just design creep, honestly. The engineer uniform came first, way first, and then devs added gas, so they needed to add in a uniform that counters gas. That's what the tanker uniform is for, right? So I will say I'm not a big fan of the. I like the teamwork aspect of Foxhole. This feels like it takes away from that. We need to add more stuff that adds teamwork. So I'm not a big fan of anything that has to do with the tripod mechanics, because I'm gonna be super duper honest. It's just a direct colonial buff. I don't think it's needed. There's no way to beat around the bush that colonials are the tripod faction between the two.
There is a
Like,
debate.
we use our tripods from start to finish. The only time that tripods have been relevant now is because you use tripods on gunboats. The moment the gunboats use tripod mounts, the ones will never make the tripod factory ever again.
I mean, I have a debate to say against that in genuine, like, context. I would argue to say that the Wardens have one of the most potent, if not possibly two of the most potent tripod weapons in the game. That being the Arc RPG mounted bone saw being in a trench.
Yeah.
That's probably the most potent tripod weapon in the game. Like, arguably, I would pick that over any other tripod weapon. You can stick that in a trench. Like, you can stick 4 or 5 of them in a trench, not be seen, and arc. It's literally a baby polyobos that's you can spam anywhere. I would argue that's the best tripod weapon in the game. And I would secondly say, I think that their foe breaker, as a lot of people still have the debate that the Dacus is still better, which I actually do agree with. I think the Dacus, since it's a direct shot, but I do think the foe breaker with Cutlers sometimes shooting past their actual reach and still getting full damage outreach. I can see a lot of vehicles, if done correctly, and especially since our Typhoon got nerfed to the dirt, the only thing that we viably have on our tripods anymore are Lamentums and Dacus. Their machine gun's not as good, I agree, but they do have the arc, and I honestly think that trumps anything we get like tenfold. I think that thing's potent.
I'll shoot bunkers with it. Pointless. Remember, current state of the game, tier 2 slop everywhere. If your weapon can't shoot tier 2 slop, it's not worth making.
But this kills
It's
shit
like-
that kills tier 2 slop. It slams
Yeah,
tanks.
but no, but the ISG does the same thing. Yeah. Debating tripod mechanics here. I still think the ISG is leagues better. I still think the ISG is leagues better than any other tripod weapon. It is its own category. And we literally have a uniform that allows you to use the ISG late game. Wardens don't have that. They have a mortar uniform, basically. But I digress. What do you guys?
What do you guys take on that? What do you guys
Yeah,
take on the
yeah.
engineer uniform idea?
To go back what Legendary said about the teamwork of Foxhole, I agree. I agree on that. Like, that's the best part of the game. But on Saturdays when I hop on and early in the morning, and then all the European or Asian countries are hopping on, and I'm trying to talk to someone, like, they aren't going to understand me. So if I was a solo player and didn't have any of my Reggies on, and I got a engineer uniform on, and I was like, okay, they're pushing our forward bunker. I need to get this engineer uniform on, grab a tripod, grab a Dacus, pull up, sit there, and basically defend the front line, because you can't control everyone in Foxhole. You really can't. And being able to defend that, but then I can also in region chat ask for someone to bring up the ammo, if that makes sense. So you could still bring up the gun and the tripod, but you have to have someone run the ammo for you, if that makes sense.
Touche. I see your point.
Yeah, I agree. I'm a big fan of the having to work together. I think that's
Alright.
what makes Foxhole unique, is that aspect. You can't solo carry a front. You're just a cog in the machine. Which is another reason why I'm not a big fan of people that multi-box. I mean, I understand why they do it, but like I prefer having, like, it's so fun. Like, I remember when I first started playing Foxhole, I had no idea what I was doing. Some randoms needed a gunner. I jumped in their tank. I had no idea what I was doing, and it was so fun to be part of that experience. And when you take away that, when you put in that solo element, it removes the fact that you need someone. When you see a sergeant, you can ask him for something, and he'll probably help you out because he has no idea what he's doing. He just wants to try something new. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of solo doing the tripod thing. But I do agree that the engineer's uniform is a bit lackluster. Like, you can carry 100 B mats, which you can build one pull box, and then you have to go back for more for B mats because like yeah, it's max 100 or something like that. Maybe 105 if you don't carry your pistol. But yeah,
You can you can also carry a large item that weighs a lot less.
Oh,
So you could
okay.
so you could technically, for example, if you wanted to like add a if you wanted to like upgrade a bunker
Barbed wire
piece
or something?
and then put barbed wire on it, yeah, that's the main
Okay.
use
Is
that you
that
can
what
do
it
with it.
does? Okay.
Yeah, that's just that's but its main thing is just carrying VMATs. So I kind of feel like communication is the biggest dampener when it comes to coordination, and I actually think that Cranky put up a good point here of like sometimes you just have the problem of obviously want to communicate doing something, but localization and people not speaking English and people playing in clicks can sometimes put a dampener on that. Um, and I know it's sometimes very difficult for us to like commit more to learning language and communication outside of the game mechanics. But I also think that this could probably be something that the devs could do as like a major update, and this would be like really fucking awesome if they did this. Have you guys ever played Sea of Thieves before
Yes.
at all? So when you hold an item in Sea of Thieves, your callout menu changes based on what you're holding. Imagine if you're grabbing a tripod or you're carrying a let's say you're carrying an ISG, the Docus, right? Then your callout menu on your H key changes to I need someone to can someone grab 30 mil? Can someone grab a tripod? Can someone grab a gas mask and full, or if you're like holding 40 mil, you like grab a gas mask and filter, grab a tanker uniform. And then they do that, and then they automatically localize it based on the other player's like in-game settings. So if you're playing in English, you can clearly communicate with someone who set their foxhole to like Russian, Chinese, or Portuguese, etc. I think that would probably be the next step for Foxhole, but I do understand that that will only really hit hard if we get like a war with 20,000 players on it. But that would be awesome. I would love to see that because that would make our lives a lot easier because then it's like not just hey, I need to get someone in my regiment that can speak English and German, for example. I need to get someone in my regiment that can speak English and Mandarin or English and Russian. Um, I will say that before I started playing in Coalition, like Coalition gaming, I was very adverse to like playing with Russian players because they sometimes don't quite understand certain things just because of the language barrier. But now that I've played with Seoul and we have two Russian regiments inside Seoul and we get along very, very, very well. And I actually gel very well with Russian players now just because of that additional like exposure, getting help, etc. And I would love for that to be a thing to the average player, not just the dudes who have coalition resources available to them. But this requires a massive investment from the devs. But I think it would be awesome if we could have the Sea of Thieves like call out system in Foxhole. Like you're carrying an ISG, hey, I need you to grab me 30 mil, and it's in their language. They understand exactly what's going on. They know how to navigate the menus. I think it would be fucking awesome.
That's actually a badass idea. Like dead ass. That is that is a really good idea. Have localization in like if you're holding a certain item, like I mean, they would have to do a lot of extra work for
Yeah, it's a lot of
everything,
work.
but
It would be a major update. It would be a major update.
yeah,
It would be like this would be like on par with the builder update.
yeah.
That's
I
how I
mean
feel about it.
that'd be really big, but I agree that would be monumental for communication. I mean,
More tools. Yeah.
um, so this is something as well. Um, I really wish got added, and I have just started doing this recently. On the front line, like I'll run up and I'll pick up like 4 or 5 Banes, and I'll run them back to the bunker. But let's say 3 out of the 5 Banes still have a rocket in them, and I submit them. We just lost 3 APRPGs. I would really enjoy an unload gun mechanic. I know you think that's niche.
Low G skill issue. Low G
No,
skill issue.
but no, I'm being dead ass, dude. Like, people who do that on a regular basis, and I'm talking about like my buddy Medine, we changed his name in the regiment to Magpie because he really enjoys going and picking up loot off the floor and running it back to the bunker. He he gets really happy when he gets an expensive he gets like 5 or 6 Banes off the floor and runs them back. I really think even if it's as small as that, I really think an unload gun mechanic, not guns, specifically for Banes, mortars, and like heavy explosive one-shot guns like that. Small little thing, but I'm telling you that would make a difference. I know you're not a frontline guy, but when I'm fucking penny pension for AP RPGs and we have fucking
Yes,
sergeants
I
running out
agree.
with 6 goddamn RPGs and he
All the
fucking loses all of
lodulus.
them, bro, you
Mhm.
don't live on the
No,
dude.
no,
No, you don't
no.
understand.
Sometimes you only have
Yeah.
2 AP RPGs and there's a tank coming, and then you need those 2 AP RPGs.
Yeah.
You motherfuckers need to build some infantry kit factories. Okay.
Bro,
No,
no,
okay.
Listen here,
Okay,
LARPer man.
no,
This is
no,
the
hold on,
frontline thing.
No. Okay, you guys we're in a content drought. I challenge you. All 3 of you next war. Go build an infantry kit factory. You will. This is such a non-problem. Like
The fuck is
specifically
Logi?
APRPG, bro.
It's that lame
Bro.
shit. The
No,
fuck's that
seriously,
Logi shit?
Go make a fucking infantry kit factory. This is such a non-problem. God, where's Winfield?
What
Winfield, get in
a
here.
waster, bro. You're a waster. Logi people hate you on the front line, buddy. They
love me.
hate you. They love me.
Love me.
I make every fucking bullet out of my 8mm count, all right? This mother... No, but you get it, E. You get it, bro. When
Yeah, I mean with
dude.
APRPG, like a Bane, it's like 1 out of 1, right? So
Yeah.
you could unload, but I think like Nojanti, sometimes
No,
it's 7
fuck
out of
that.
12.
Fuck that. Nope.
Like, how would you save that one?
No,
you know?
and that's the thing. That's why I said it should only be like rocket launchers and mortars. Like, that's the only guns that are one shot, but those are the only things you really care about, right? And mortars aren't as high priority, but like, especially for the APRPGs, like last night when we were pushing in, it was the last VP we took, Brody Town. I went and picked up, like, I shit you not, I wasted 30 rockets, over a crate of rockets, just submitting those Banes back into the bunker. And as much as you make a joke of it, like, I understand it's not hard for a Logi guy to come replenish that, and it's not, but there are times, like, it does happen where the Logi's slowing down and the front is slowing down, but you still need that stuff. Like, especially in early morning for you American, when EU's popping off and you're starting to take over and not all the Logi chads have woke up yet. I've literally been so happy to find a fucking loose Igni in a backpack, dude. I was so happy. There's times where you're penny pinching on the front, and you might not know that living in a Logi La La land. All right, but on the front, I'm happy to find 2 7.92 mags and a fucking Dusk and an Igni. I'm set for like an hour, bro. All right, I'll stretch that fucking gun out to the max. I'm killing motherfuckers, stealing their shit, running it back. You don't know, man.
Please build an
Frontline Logi. Frontline Logi's
Oh
different
my
breed.
God, build it. It's an MPF in your fucking facility. You know how the MPF makes
We don't
like,
make facilities anymore. We live off the front. The front provides. The front provides. I don't even need you for shirts anymore. I pick up wounded. I don't need Logi. I don't need you anymore. That's a joke. I'm just kidding. Please bring more Logi. But I don't know. That's a small thing. It was one of the things I wrote down last night. I also had a really cool idea because you guys obviously didn't like my sledgehammer breaking concrete idea and my husking concrete idea. I do think there is a thing in the game that rarely gets used that I think would be great at extracting concrete out of the ground. You know that new excavator builder bullshit that runs on gravel? I think that is also that would be another cool way to dehusk concrete. bring up like 4 or 5 of those things and just dehusk concrete with that thing, excavate it in the bucket, and then ship it out when it's full. Like, it would give life to the excavator, one thing, but two, it would also give us a reason to build them outside of just putting them on the fucking construction pad for funnies. Like, I don't know. I thought that was a cool idea. That someone told me, and I really liked it. It would give a life to excavator. What do you guys think about that?
I love that idea. I think that would, put some more use into the excavator because I rarely see it every time I drive, Logi or anything. I rarely see it anywhere.
Same, yeah. The excavate, like, I think myself included, a lot of people were very hyped for it, but none like no one really uses it.
Build storm cannons with it. It's awesome.
Well, yeah, anything
Not even-
concrete, it's worth. Concrete stuff, it
Okay.
is worth.
So yeah, it's we used it this war where we had a very like dense base because we built when you build for fighting frigates, you have to build your base very very dense so that if a frigate hits something, 4 howitzers shoot it. We had a problem where we actually couldn't run concrete to like the central spot where we wanted to put down a underground fortress and an intel center. And basically the solution was we just dropped one construction equipment at the edge that could just reach it, and then we just drove a logi truck into it to refill it with concrete. So yeah, it needs more. I would really like an increased range in it, honestly. I think if that little arm extends for like another like 2 or 3 meters or like maybe even 5, I think that would definitely put in more life to it. And I'm gonna be super honest. So originally when it first came out, it used to be tier 2 facility locked. I think that would have probably made it so that no one ever built it. At least you kind of see them now. But it would be awesome, absolutely awesome if I can print one at like a vehicle pad in my facility as well, because that's the majority way that you can mass produce it to like get to the front. Making them in the conyard feels weird. It's like it's the same as like you make a concrete mixer at a conyard. Also, in today's day and age where you can do most things in facilities, kind of weird. So I think more utility and more ease of access will make the construction equipment more popular. Also, give it the ability to place mines. Oh, be awesome.
I need to write something else down for next talk point. Okay. So earlier we kind of touched on this, and I thought it was really interesting. The tractor having towing. If you guys don't know who Louise is from Pink Reggie, I think it's TSO. Yeah, it's TSO. Wrong. That's their. He ran a Stygian on the back of that tractor, and he carried the 3 shells in the tractor. He killed a few tanks. I'm gonna say that. And he boot the fuck out of there, and he always had someone sitting in the gun. I'm just gonna say, you want to give maybe the tankette a little bit extra life, maybe let it tow. I don't know, just a little something crazy out there. I'm just saying. I know there's not a lot of tankette love no more in the game. You know, I think the tankette could get a lot of love. Getting a little towing action. Just saying. It wouldn't be much. It's got the same inventory slots as the tractor. Gun ammo section, 3 I think it actually has 4. No, it's 3 slots. Just an idea, it would still be open top, but I do think the towing would be a really good add-on onto the tankette. And I don't even know, maybe give us a facility upgrade for it just to get the tow hitch. Make it piss cheap, whatever. But give it a heavy towing. Maybe give a early push gun support, whatever. I don't know. I think that's really dumb. But I don't know. I think Tankette needs a little bit of love, and that was just an idea someone passed by me, and I wrote it down. I thought that was actually kind of cool because I don't know. I thought it was kind of cool. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I don't think it's just the tankettes. I think a lot of the early game stuff, it'll be nice to see it utilized later game. I like what they did with the tankette rockets, the fire rockets, and they did it with the warden side as well. I want to see more of that as well. More like maybe an armored car. I don't know. Puts I don't know, like you were saying, a tow option to it, like upgrade it so you can tow stuff with it, or make it like a heavy version. I don't know, but maybe something that we can do with the early variant vehicles, where you maybe can pump those out and then stockpile them for later. I know people don't really use the Tankette fire rockets and the King Jester. Like it's called the King Jester. No one really uses that either. The wardens don't use that
Well,
at
they got
all.
rid of that. That vehicle's gone.
Oh really? Oh
Yeah,
yeah, it's
they made
tank. It's
the
the concrete
AC.
buster now.
Yeah, they made
Oh
the AC with
yeah,
the
it
rocket
busts
pods.
concrete.
I actually, funny you say that though. When you started talking about that, that brought up a really underutilized item that I haven't seen in like 10 wars, probably. Uh, do any of you guys know that the Wardens have a towable rocket platform? Hmm. It's weird.
The push rockets.
Yeah, it's because they don't use them because they have the
Yes,
exact same fucking chassis on a half track that can move way fucking quicker.
bro. I remember the ARG clan, the Argentina clan. I think they did like 20 man rocket push gun thing. Yeah, yeah, you're right. Yeah, no one uses that.
I think that's really crazy. Um,
It's the same as the Hades nest, right? No one really uses the Hades nests. I mean, we do it
Bullshit.
because it's LARP. It's LARP.
I use them.
It's cool
Legit.
LARP.
Dude,
It's
600
cool LARP.
meters, bro, with dispersion? Get the fuck out of here.
It's
Come
cool LARP.
on.
It's
Hades
cool
is
LARP, but it's
awesome.
LARP.
No, I'll be 100% honest with you. They are very not meta. It's not the rocket trucks in almost every situation. You can, there's numbers you can debate. I've had this argument with people before. The DPS almost equals out with fire rate, whatever. I think with the range and the entrenchment bonus, there's an actual argument that the Hades net, like bonus, use them very effectively. I mean, God forbid we actually use them this war, taking Overlook Hill. We had 9 of them set up. We had a 3x3, and we piss missiled. It's just the entrenchment bonus, like not losing trucks to, I don't know, being able to repair. I don't know. I really think that it's a good mechanic that a lot of people miss out on. I don't think, going back to it, just useless items. I don't think the Hades is useless. I think they're I don't even know what the fuck it's called anymore. Their tow rocket arty trash. I would never understand why someone would use that because it shoots the exact same rockets as in the half track, and I'm pretty sure it's the almost exact same amount of rockets. It's the wasp, yeah, the wasp nest. Why would they? That's a useless item in the game.
You heard it here you heard it here first, folks. Bone is advocating for a buff of the hornets, the wasp nest. It's gonna have high velocity modifier, 3 times the chance of burning down colonial bases.
Whoa, pump brakes there, Chattalini Jolie.
And to compensate, the Retarius can hold 1 extra rocket in its inventory.
Yeah, that's pretty good, boys. I don't know what you guys think. That seems pretty balanced to me. Also, they're gonna give another 10% high vote to the outlaw just for kicks and giggles.
Yeah. Just fuck with it. Even
For
more.
reparations for all the bad time they've had with the Wasp's Nest. Actually, I do want another take too, and I know we're reaching 2 hours. But I do have 2 more questions for you guys. One, do you guys think we'll be able to drop pamphlets from planes as kind of a lore funny morale pamphlets on people? And also, do you think we're going to be able to drop minefields from planes? I think both would be very cool. One could be explosive in the back line, and one could be really explosive in the back line. Just saying. And I do have another point after this, but I do want to know what you guys think about pamphlets
I'm
being
not sure
dropped.
about pamphlets. Would be funny, like they did in Dunkirk. I don't know how that would work though. But yeah, I don't know about the mines because mines is something that's like place. So dropping it from an airplane would, I don't know, would be weird.
There's no such thing as a friendly mine, and I promise you, when it hits the ground, it'll stay there until something removes it at high velocity. So it'll be placed. It's not
What do you think,
maybe where
Cranky?
people want it.
I would say, like the pamphlets. It'd be kind of funny if you could like drop signs instead of pamphlet, just signs, and they just get placed in the back line or whatever it is, and it says what you want it to say, like right off the bat. That would be pretty stinking funny. Mine's that would be, I think Reddit would have a heyday with that, and a lot of a lot of the wardens and colonials will love having mines. You start bringing up a big truckload of stuff, and then all of a sudden, airplane comes through with mines, lays it down all on the road, and you just lose all your 60 minutes of work. So
Easy. Just bring a harvester every time you drive Logi. Harvester's got to go on every Logi trip. Just harvester right in front of it the whole way there. You'll never have an issue again.
Or fire trucks, apparently. You can remove, well, fixed now, but you used to be able to remove minefields with fire trucks. So, first of all, pamphlets, unrealistic. There's no way for us to chop down trees to convert pulp into paper. So that's too unrealistic for me.
Damn it!
I can't be full immersion in the ability to make paper in the game. So, sorry, pamphlets are out for me. Mines, only if it's anti-infantry mines and only if I can find your facility.
Done. I don't go to the facility anyway. I don't give a fuck. That's awesome. That's great. I live on the front.
Because, I know, because anytime you're allowed in the facility, you make 75 crates of officer's uniform in the infantry kit factory when no one's looking.
That is 100% factual. That actually happened multiple occasions. So that's fine.
I have spies in Bone.
That's 100% fine. And I know Onyx is texting you right now because he's the one that bitched about it, so that's fine too. Last point, and this is just a little tangent. Do you guys think the LTD could get a high velocity modifier, or do you think it'd be too OP? I personally, and I'll give you the reason why I think this is a possibility. I think the time that it actually has its moment is so shrunk down now, with Outlaws being the tech right behind the LTD almost every time. And from the time that we get LTD, like we have light tanks fighting blinders. Next tech, you get LTDs. Next tech is we don't even get a real full tech with it when you're not fighting brigands and stuff like that. I mean, the LTD, is it still potent? Can it still fight? Yes. But did it really get power creeped like really hard and it doesn't have its time to shine? Yeah. I really think that the LTD is it could play even late game, but it got mashed and it stopped doing enough damage, which good. I don't want an LTD to be able to bully a BT. I want that BT to smash the LTD every time, unless it gets tracked. But I really am not a fan of the LTD not having a place in the game. The blinder has a place to fight light tanks, and then it gets power crept, as it should be, but it has a place. LTD doesn't. I really think that there's an argument to be said that the LTD should have a high velocity, but at the end of it, I understand that the Outlaw is their main line tank. It's really good. It's their cruiser. I don't want the LTD to bully every other tank. It's really hard to balance it. I don't necessarily think it should get a closed top. That's another benefit I think could possibly fix that and mend that a little better. Or high velocity. But I do think if it got high velocity, I mean, it's really tough to say that'd be fair. Because, I mean, if you bitch smacked a silver hand that can't pop it, oh, thanks for the biddies, Officer Gandy. Appreciate that. And the sub. Oh, my God. Thank you. Sorry. Not part of you guys. What do you guys think about that LTD and stuff? What do you guys think? You're a tanker,
mean,
Cranky. T-Man.
me personally, if we didn't have the Nemesis, like when I think they did the aiming nerf before the Nemesis, or was it during the Nemesis? I'm not sure.
During.
But since
It
they
was
gave us the
during.
Nemesis, was it during?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, they gave us the Nemesis. I think I really don't mind. I mean, LTDs, it's a hard tank to use, but it's very good if you know how to use it.
I agree. That's fair. I agree with that point, actually, very well. What do you think?
I think if it did get a high velocity, and to be usable and not make it OP, if it was like a different, maybe when airborne comes out, it'll be like a different shell, if that makes sense, where you could make it into in facilities and kind of use that shell in the late game. Because I mean, when I use a LTD at early war, like you're kind of dumpstering on tanks, but later war, you get in that bitch and you fight a BT and that air burst above your shit and you're decrewed. You know how many times I've rage quit and just fucking thrown my fucking headset off and just was like, I'm done with this fucking game because I got decrewed. But like, if there was like different shells you could use for light tanks, that would be pretty cool. And especially the LTD to be able to combat like, the outlaw and certain stuff like that. That's kind of my take. Is like maybe different shells could be kind of produced.
Different shells have been talked about from a long time. I think having, and especially, they added this mechanic where you can have generic shells, but they could also revert it right back to where you could have like 68 HE, 68 AP, 68 APCR. I know that just broke every Logiman's heart in the fucking world, bringing 3 different types of 68 shells up and keeping all of those fed. But that being said, that does make a kind of point where, just because like light tanks for the collies never get used when falchions come out because it's the direct upgrade. Maybe the hatchet gets a APCR round where it essentially gets 68 damage in pen as a light tank. You might see more use out of it. And maybe the Spatha can't get that comparable type. It can only take HE, XYZ. I mean, they could do a lot of balancing changes to that. It's an interesting idea, to say the least. I just don't know how plausible in balance. I think it could do balance really well, but I could also see like you pull up with fucking 6 LTDs with APCR and fucking all of them pen on a super heavy and disable that motherfucker. I don't know. Like, it might be a little rough, but I could see it.
I'm gonna be super honest. I don't understand why the bot Dish got a double shot. I'm gonna be super honest. I'd rather let the LTD get it. If I could change one thing in the game, take the double shot off the Bodish and put that on the LTD. Like, I really don't get it. Like who asked for it? Like, what's the where in the balance spectrum did the Bodish buff?
It's
come
because
from?
it
I
has
don't
to dive.
understand.
Oh, I can tell you that right now.
No, I understand that.
It's
I
because
understand
it
that.
has to fucking it because when it fights HTDs, when it has to dive in HTD, or the biggest thing in a Bardiche is it's a dive tank. There's no
Yeah, no,
out
I get that.
fucking
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
That's the only reason it got the double shot is because it has to be worth its damage as it's going in. Because it's usually realistically, if you take a shot at 45 meters, as you're backing up, you're gonna get forward. You're gonna take a shot with a 68. That outlaw, by the time you shoot your shot when you catch up, they're gonna get a second shot in you. That really sucks. That was one thing I complained about a long time ago with the Bardiche and the Talos even now, but it has a 75, so it's justifiable. When you have to dive so fucking deep to get your shot off against generally tank, they don't even have a 35-meter tank. They don't in their complete lineup. Every single tank will outrange you, and if they're smart, they're gonna get 2 shots off on you as you get your first shot off. That's the reason the double shot was added. 100%. That is the only reason that had to get added, and it's only justifiable because that was one of our MPF main tanks, and they had to give us
So,
something to bite on because the outlaw got buffed. That's
so
realistic.
I'm gonna be super honest. I'm actually fine with the LTD not getting any changes, and I'll tell you why. It's because the Nemesis basically filled in the role that we were forced to use the LTD in. We had to make LTD back in the day because we didn't have an answer to HCDs and outlaws. Now we do. The Nemesis works really well because, again, I'm thinking about, besides the game balance and the numbers, I'm thinking about the fun. The Nemesis is actually a fun tank to play in because the 68 tracks, the Tremolas come into play. And the insane amount of damage output that the Nemesis has makes it a good vehicle. And the same thing with the Bardiche. So at this point in time, there's no real reason for me to make LTDs besides the fact that it can counter the blinder. That's it. The LTD is a blinder counter. It's to take the blinder off the off of the playing field, and then it sometimes can still sort of duel with the outlaw, but the outlaw 3 shots the LTD now supposed to 4 because of high velocity modifier. So unfortunately, I think the LTD has served its purpose. You could make the argument that maybe they could add a thing in where if you reach the end of the tech tree, it swaps out the base vehicle from the hatchet to the LTD, and then you can MPF them. I could think there could be like other ways that you can make it relevant, but I want to be super honest, I really don't see the necessity for us to fuck with it too much because right now the game is like super tempered with like iron tech. Iron tech balance is like probably the most important thing for tech trees right now. And I feel like if you bring the LTD out sooner, or if you bring the LTD out where it can just dumpster on like protos, it won't make the game that enjoyable for Wardens.
I
If I'm being
agree.
super honest. Yeah.
But at the other half
I think
too.
I think the LTD is very much now a vet tank. You play with the LTD because you really like it, but for the majority of people, you want to grab a dude and stuff him in your tank like either man does. I think the Nemesis serves that purpose way better because it's always fun to put a dude in a Bardiche 12.7 because they don't really make that big of an impactful, but they might stop like 1 or 2 sticky guys that get too close to you. Same with the thing with the Tremolo launcher. You tell the Tremolo launcher guy, hey, hold fire. The moment the target is like stuck or disabled or tracked or I roll forward, then you just press the button 4 times and we pull back and reload. That is more fun. And fun is
100%.
what matters. LTD is unfun. And and Craigie just said that he loves getting a 120 inside of his cabin. What's the point of suffering? Just make a Nemesis. Or a Bodish. Or a Quadish if you're a real gangster. Because Quadish is fucking.
Hey, I have to add the other note. APRPGs in the Quadish. Devs, please.
Every fucking podcast.
That's been in there for fucking like 2 months.
APRPG, goddamn Quadish.
Needs to be added. Thank you for reminding me. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
True, Chad. Yeah, dude. I'm gonna be honest, boys. We went through all my notes. I usually ask if you guys want to add anything. But I know you guys are fucking tired. I saw Either Man almost fall asleep in his chair over there a second ago. And it's late for these European guys. Actually, you're not European, but I don't want to pull out the podcast too long. It's also boring to watch podcast over a few hours too. So, if you guys don't have anything to add, I think we can end it there. If you guys want to add anything, I'm staying up till like 2, baby. So I'm I'm chilling. But I know you guys are tired. So if you guys don't want to add anything, we can end it there. What do you guys say? Thought that was a pretty good episode.
Closing thoughts. Let's do closing thoughts.
Yeah. Any closing thoughts, gentlemen?
I would have to say that queues need to be removed. That's my thing. I will hit on. I will die on that hill. I need queues out of here. I need to be able to do my rocket truck ops. I need to be able to do my D-Day invasions. I need to be able to do that stuff. I want to have fun in my ops. I don't want to be sitting there in queues in my rocket truck and then we're like, oh fuck it, can't do it. Everyone hops off. So that's my hill. And then again, I want to thank Bert for inviting me on this. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And E-Man, Legendary, it was nice to meet you guys. Great guys. Hope to see you guys on the battlefield.
Professional closeout right there. You guys gonna try to stack that up or what?
I just want to say I'm excited for Airborne. Good or bad, I think it's going to bring a lot of attention to Foxhole. I'm super excited. Can't wait. Um, like I just keep thinking of it. Right, I think everyone in the Foxhole community is just excited for it. So yeah, sure. Like we theorycraft a lot of stuff, but we have to wait and see what the devs are going to do. And yeah, it was fun chatting to you guys and theory crafting. Really appreciate bringing me on. It was nice meeting you, CrankyCon and Legendary. And yeah, it's good podcast.
Legend, what do you got?
Um, I think Ebel's gonna be good. Let's be uncategoristically no, uncategoristic is the wrong word. It is 2 a.m. It's a little bit. Let's be unrealistically positive. Let's give it. It's gonna be janky. It's gonna be like we're gonna slam planes into the ground. It's gonna explode. We're gonna see planes flying into cranes and destroying railstorm cannons and shit. It's gonna be janky as hell. But let's be positive. And in the interim, try and find joy out of the game, or hey, touch grass for December, come back January. It's gonna be. I think Dev Range is gonna probably hit like the last week or the second last week or something like that for Dev Branch. We're gonna test things out, get lots of feedback. Stable game releasing in February. I'm positive about it. Until then, we just have to bite things over. So, for anyone watching, don't burn out. Like, play other games. Come back with positive attitude, and give Siege the main thing for this podcast. I think the message for this podcast from my side is give Siege Camp a chance because they're working on things that we don't always appreciate. Like we don't see floating gunners anymore. There's a reason for that. So let's be optimistic. Let's be positive. And if it doesn't come out the way that it should, dev branch fucking feedback. Play the dev branch. Give feedback. Don't hide intel. That's the whole spiel. And yeah, Big Bear, always great yapping to you. You have the craziest ideas. Love you. But I'm positive about Airborne. I think it's gonna be good. We just have to get there. We have to get to the starting line. And that's how I feel about it. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, dude. I genuinely have been looking forward to this all week. I really do. I had a really good time talking to you guys. I know I yap a lot. I know I go fucking crazy with the tinfoil hat and stuff, and I know I come out with some pretty crazy stuff. Um, but I really enjoyed this time with you guys, and I really appreciate you guys all coming on and being on time. And this has been really cool. I have to say, I'm super excited just to be playing with guys like you in the game. You know, I'm going to be playing with the majority of you guys either on the front or I'm going to be messaging you on dumb shit that I figure out how to break. You guys all know most of us if you're watching this, but if you're not, please go drop these guys some some subs on YouTube, and if you're not following them on Twitch, give them a follow. I'm going to be trying to connect with all these guys on the YouTube channel, and I'm going to try to learn how to post all their links in the bottom there. Fingers crossed. So we're going to end this here today, guys. I appreciate you guys coming to the Boneyard, and if you guys have any questions or anything, please hit the comments up. We will all be, well, I will be asking them for you if they didn't read the comments themselves. So thank you guys, and we'll end it there. Peace.